The stars were dying, not one by one, but all at once, scattered points of light fading from the sky like burning candles snuffed by an unseen hand. Every night, telescopes reported fewer stars. Every morning, the world grew darker. No one could explain it. Scientists blamed sensor malfunctions. Governments blamed hackers. The United Earth Council ordered silence. No public statements until verification. But even from the cities below the dimming heavens, ordinary people knew something was wrong. In orbit around Mars, aboard the research vessel Odyssey 1, Dr. Ilara Voss sat alone in the observation bay. Her eyes were red from sleepless nights, her hands trembling slightly as she adjusted the control screen. Outside the window, she saw the endless black, deeper than ever before. The ship's AI flickered to life beside her. Stellar database updated. It said in a calm tone, 1,312 stars lost since last cycle. Ilara swallowed. Show me. The holographic star map appeared, thousands of points vanishing, blinking out like dust in the wind. She stayed in silence until a small red dot flashed at the edge of the map. New object detected, said the AI. Unregistered source. Direction, outer sector, beyond Neptune's orbit. Signal strength rising. Ilara frowned. That's impossible. There's nothing out there. She tapped the console. The static-filled transmission came through the speakers, faint, shaky, ancient. The kind of signal that shouldn't exist anymore. A voice spoke. Low. Human. Male. This is Echo Station 7, to Earth Command. Anyone, please respond. Ilara froze. The coordinates matched no known satellite. No station had ever been built beyond Neptune. Yet the voice was unmistakably human, breathless, terrified, fading in and out. Run diagnostics, she ordered. The AI replied, signal pattern consistent with Earth transmission models from the 21st century. Ilara's heartbeat quickened. That was nearly 800 years ago, before interstellar travel, before Mars colonization. Patch it through. Clean the noise. The AI complied, and the voice grew clearer. This message is not from your time. It is not from your universe. The universe is gone. Humanity remains. Then silence. Ilara stayed at the console, unable to move. The words echoed inside her mind like a haunting dream, not from your universe. She replayed it twice, 3 times, each time more terrified. How can a signal cross universes? She whispered. Unknown, said the AI. But analysis shows the message originated beyond the cosmic horizon, outside known space. That was impossible. Nothing could exist beyond the horizon. Nothing could send signals from there. Unless something was still there. She called the bridge immediately. Captain, I found something you need to hear. Minutes later, Captain Malik entered, his uniform half-buttoned, his eyes tired but alert. This better not be another phantom signal. Doctor. It's not, she said quickly. This came from beyond the boundary. It's human. You'll want to hear it yourself. He listened. His expression hardened. When the voice said, humanity remains, he looked at her sharply. That's a hoax, he said. A pre-recorded artifact from the early deep space era. Nothing more. It can't be, Ilara argued. The coordinates embedded in the transmission. Coordinates. She brought them up on the screen. A cluster of numbers, rotating slowly. They point outside the visible universe. No star, no system, nothing there. But the data is fresh, only minutes old. Captain Malik folded his arms. You're suggesting a signal traveled from beyond time and space just to talk to us. I'm saying something human did. The room fell silent. Outside the viewport, the darkness seemed to pulse, a void that swallowed light. Record everything, Malik finally said. Transmit it to the United Earth Council. I already did, Ilara admitted. But the channel cut off halfway through. He turned. Cut off. The system jammed itself. I think someone, or something, didn't want the message getting out. Hours later, the ship drifted quietly in Mars orbit, its crew uneasy. Word had spread among the scientists. A ghost message, they called it. Some laughed. Some prayed. Ilara sat again at her console, watching the signal repeat in static bursts. She noticed something she hadn't before, faint distortions between the data packets, like whispers. She isolated one and amplified it. A single phrase emerged. "You are not the first." Her hands went cold. "Ah," she whispered, "what does that mean?" "Translation ambiguous," it replied. "Possibly a temporal marker. The speaker may refer to sequential universes." She leaned back, trying to steady her breath. Sequential universes, multiple resets. If that were true, if there had been other versions of reality before this one, then maybe the stars weren't dying. Maybe the universe itself was shutting down. And the message was a warning. Later that night, Ilara sat in the dark of her cabin, listening again to the transmission. She turned the volume low, almost like a lullaby. The universe is gone. Humanity remains. Her mind replayed every word, every distortion, every pause. It didn't sound like fear. It sounded like grief. She opened her personal log. Entry 01. If anyone finds this, the stars are dying. The message we received is not from the past. It's from the end. Someone human survived whatever happened. If they did, maybe we can too. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Who are you?" In the silent void outside, far beyond Mars, a faint pulse blinked once, then again. Like something answering. Ilara didn't see it, but the AI did. "Dr. Voss," it said softly. "The signal, it's repeating. And now it's stronger." She opened her eyes slowly. "Stronger?" "Yes," said the AI. "And doctor, it's moving closer." For 3 days, Odyssey 1 followed the signal. It moved slowly, as if waiting to be found, drifting beyond Neptune's orbit, just beyond the edge of known space. Dr. Ilara Voss hadn't slept. She sat in the command chair beside Captain Malik, eyes fixed on the flickering coordinates ahead. The signal pulsed rhythmically now, stronger, louder. "Range?" Malik asked. 2 million kilometers, replied the pilot. "We'll have visual contact in 30 minutes. Ilara's fingers trembled as she adjusted the sensor feed. Every scan returned the same impossible result. A metallic structure in open space, where nothing should exist. No planet, no asteroid, just something enormous, cold, and silent. The crew gathered on the bridge as the ship slowed to sublight speed. Outside the viewport, the stars were faint, dying embers in a sea of black. Then they saw it, a shadow against the void. Long, curved, skeletal, like the ribcage of a titan buried in night. It stretched for kilometers, silent and lifeless, yet perfectly symmetrical. Ilara whispered, "What is that?" The AI answered first. "Unregistered object. No known construction pattern." But it paused. "Material composition, 90% titanium carbon alloy, same as early Earth ship hulls." Malik turned sharply. "That's not possible. Humanity never built anything this size." Ilara stayed at the structure. The bones of it gleamed faintly, reflecting the dying starlight. Her heart pounded. Maybe we did. Maybe we forgot. They launched a probe. As it drifted closer, the structure's details came into view. Massive corridors, open airlocks, long chains of debris floating around it. On the hull were symbols etched into the metal, Latin letters, worn and ancient. Ilara zoomed in. ECHO 7. She gasped. Echo Station 7. Malik frowned. "You're telling me that thing is the source of the transmission," she said quietly. The crew exchanged looks. That name matched the recording's origin. But records said Echo Station 7 had never existed. "Prepare docking," Malik ordered. The airlock opened with a long metallic sigh. The away team, Ilara, Malik, and 2 engineers, stepped into the dark corridor. Their helmet lights cut through thick dust floating like gray snow. "Power readings?" Malik asked. "Minimal," said Ilara. "Just one faint energy source near the core." The place felt wrong. Too still, too human. The walls were built like those of an Earth ship, but older, heavier, as if from a forgotten age. They passed rooms filled with frozen consoles, shattered glass, and long-dead machinery. One of the engineers whispered, Feels like a tomb. Elara stopped. On a wall, she saw something carved by hand, words scratched into the metal. She wiped off the frost and read aloud. They found us. We hid too long. A shiver ran through her spine. They reached the main chamber. It was vast, a cathedral of steel. In the center stood a single glass pod, covered in frost, wires snaking from it into the walls. Inside, a human body floated, motionless but intact. Life signs, said Elara, rushing forward. The scanner beeped weakly. Still alive. Malik blinked. That can't be right. She stared at the face behind the frost. A man, middle-aged, wearing an old flight suit with the insignia of the United Earth Fleet. The badge read, Captain Ezra Cole. Elara, Malik whispered. Cole went missing 700 years ago. Her voice trembled. Then where has he been all this time? They powered the pod. The lights flickered. Steam hissed as the glass lifted with a heavy click. The man inside gasped violently, choking on the thin air. Elara stepped forward. It's okay. You're safe. He coughed, eyes wild, voice rasping. No, you shouldn't be here. Malik stared at him. Captain Cole, you've been asleep for centuries. You aboard the Odyssey 1. We found your signal. Cole froze, staring at them as if he'd seen ghosts. His hands shook. You found the signal. Yes, said Elara. You sent it. The message that said the universe was gone. His face went pale. Then it's already begun. Elara frowned. What do you mean? Cole looked at her, eyes full of dread. The stars, how many are left? She hesitated. Less than half. He closed his eyes. Then it's real. The collapse. The reset. They brought him back to Odyssey 1. In the med bay, Cole sat quietly, staring at the fading lights on the ceiling. His body was frail, but his mind sharp. Elara sat across from him. You said something about a reset. What does that mean? He turned to her slowly. It means this universe is not the first. It's not even the second. It's one of many. The architects, they built them like layers of code. When one fails, they end it. The architects. Malik repeated. Not gods, Cole said softly. Not aliens either. Builders, older than stars. They created the framework of existence. But humanity, we found a way to survive the last collapse. We hid in the folds between universes. Elara felt her stomach twist. You're saying we already lived through the end of everything once. He nodded. And we will again. She leaned closer. Then what is that structure? Echo Station 7. His voice lowered. A lifeboat. One of many. I was part of the team that stayed behind to leave a warning. We failed. Elara whispered. You mean the message? He looked up, his eyes hollow. I didn't send that message. The room fell silent. Malik frowned. Then who did? Cole stayed into the dark corner of the room. Something else woke the station. Something that remembers us. A loud alarm cut through the silence. The AI's voice came through the ship's comms, tense and distorted. Captain, unknown phenomenon detected outside the hull. Space-time distortion increasing. Elara and Malik ran to the bridge. The view outside the window made her heart stop. The stars were bending. The blackness around the ship rippled like water, folding in on itself. And from the void, a wave of darkness began to move, slow, deliberate, and alive. Gravitational anomaly. Malik shouted. The AI hesitated. Negative. It's not gravity. Elara stayed at the black wave consuming distant debris. Then what is it? Cole's voice came from behind them, weak but clear. It's the universe ending again. The darkness moved like a living thing. It rolled through the void beyond Odyssey 1, swallowing light, bending space, turning the stars into thin streaks of dying color. Every scanner on the ship screamed errors. Every alarm pulsed red. Dr. Elara Voss gripped the edge of her console as the ship shuddered. Stabilizers failing. What's happening out there? Captain Malik shouted over the noise. AI, report. Unknown anomaly, the AI's voice replied, calm but strained. Space-time integrity collapsing. Estimated event radius, expanding. Elara's eyes darted to the viewport. The black wave devoured the last of Neptune's faint light. It wasn't just darkness, it was absence, a void that erased everything it touched. And in the middle of it stood something even more terrifying. A shape. Huge. Silent. Like a shadow standing against nothing. It wasn't a creature. Not exactly. But it had form. The senses couldn't define its edges. Every time Alara tried to focus, it shifted, as if reality refused to remember what it looked like. Then, through the chaos, a voice broke through the comms. Ezra Cole's voice. "Run. Get this ship out of here now." They jumped. The engines roared, the stars stretched into white lines, and the ship tore through the void. When the warp field finally stabilized, silence returned. No alarms, no motion, just heavy breathing and the faint hum of power returning. Captain Malik turned. "Cole, what the hell was that?" The man sat in a corner of the bridge, pale and shaking. His eyes were empty, like someone remembering their own death. "It's the same. Exactly the same." Alara knelt beside him. "You've seen this before." He nodded slowly. "I saw the universe collapse once already. That thing you saw, it's not a creature. It's the result. The final phase of the reset." She frowned. "Reset?" Cole rubbed his temples, his voice trembling. "Every universe runs like a program. Over time, it becomes unstable. Too much entropy, too much paradox, too much life. The architects built a system to restart it, to erase it all and begin again. That wave is the signal. It destroys the old to make room for the new." Malik scoffed. "That's mythology." Cole looked at him, eyes blazing. "I watched it happen, Captain. I was there when everything ended. Earth, the colonies, every star, every atom, gone. I survived only because I was frozen in the folds between universes." Alara's voice was soft. "Then what are we seeing now?" "The next reset," he said. "The end of this universe." For hours, the crew listened to Cole's story. He had been part of a secret mission centuries ago. Project Echo, an experiment to find the edge of creation. The architects were only theory then, believed to be the original builders of existence itself. The mission's goal was to find proof. They found more than proof. At the boundary of the universe, Cole's team discovered a rift, something that looked like a tear in reality. Beyond it was darkness, but not empty space. It was raw void. Cole said they sent a probe inside. It came back, half melted, half missing, with data no human could decode. Then the stars started dying. The architects had triggered the collapse, he said, and we realized too late that our probe was the cause. We woke something that was never meant to wake. Alara felt the weight of every word. "You mean humanity caused the universe to end?" He nodded. "We wanted to know what was outside creation, and we found out. Now, every cycle repeats the same mistake. Humanity survives the collapse, somehow, but each time, we lose something." Malik frowned. "Lose what?" Cole's voice dropped to a whisper. "Memory. History. Ourselves." That night, Odyssey 1 floated silently through the void. The crew barely spoke. Alara sat in her cabin, watching the old recording again. The message they'd found from Echo Station 7. "The universe is gone. Humanity remains." Now, the words carried new weight. They weren't a warning from the past. They were a reminder from the last version of reality. Her console beeped softly. "Dr. Voss," the AI said. "Long-range sensors detecting new data within the transmission." "Show me." A faint pattern appeared, tiny dots arranged in a spiral. At first, it looked random. Then it shifted into coordinates. Alara's breath caught. "Those are outside the visible universe." "Yes," said the AI, "beyond any known structure." She stayed at the screen. "That's where it began, and maybe where it can end." The next morning, Alara brought her findings to the bridge. Malik was reluctant. "You're suggesting we follow coordinates outside the universe itself. You realize how that sounds?" Cole stood behind her. "It's the only way to understand what's coming. Those coordinates may lead to the origin point, the architect's domain." Malik hesitated. You're asking me to take this ship beyond existence. Yes, Ilara said quietly. Because if Cole is right, existence is already ending. The silence was heavy. The crew exchanged fearful glances. Finally, Malik gave a slow nod. Plot the course. Hours later, Odyssey 1 aligned with the coordinates. Outside, the stars dimmed completely. Space was black, endless, absolute. Final jump in 30 seconds, the AI announced. Ilara felt her heartbeat in her throat. Every instinct screamed not to do this. But curiosity burned brighter than fear. Engage, Malik said. The engines ignited. Light twisted. The stars stretched and vanished. For a brief, impossible second, Ilara saw something through the distortion. Shapes moving in the darkness, watching them pass. Shadows that didn't belong to this universe. Then, impact. The ship jolted violently. Systems blinked. The viewport went white, then cleared. No stars. No planets. No light. Just a metallic structure floating in the void. Massive, ancient, familiar. Cole stayed in horror. No, it can't be. Ilara whispered, "What is it?" He turned slowly, his face pale. It's Echo Station 7 again. The AI crackled. "Captain, gravitational readings off the scale. Space is looping." Malik frowned. "Looping?" "Yes," said the AI. "We've been here before." Ilara's hands shook as the realization hit. "We're trapped in the same event. The end isn't coming, it's repeating." Cole's voice trembled. "We've crossed into the fracture, the place between universes. There's no past or future here, only the memory of endings." And then, through the comms, the old voice spoke again. Only now, it was clearer, stronger. "You have come too far. Turn back, or you'll join us." Ilara stared into the endless dark and whispered, "Who are you?" The voice answered, "We are what's left of you." The voice faded, leaving only static and the slow hum of Odyssey 1's engines. No one spoke for a long time. The crew sat frozen, the words still echoing in their minds. "We are what's left of you." Captain Malik finally broke the silence. "AI, verify the source of that signal." "Impossible," the AI replied. The transmission came from all directions at once. Dr. Ilara Voss's heart pounded. "That means it's coming from inside this space. Or from us." Ezra Cole stared at the dead void outside the viewport. "They're echoes," he said quietly. "The remnants of humanity from the last universe. The ones who didn't make it through." Malik frowned. "Ghosts?" Cole shook his head. "Not ghosts. Memories. Data trapped in the folds between worlds. When a universe resets, not everything dies. Some consciousness lingers, like shadows burned into glass." Ilara whispered, "And they're speaking to us." The eye's lights flickered weakly. "Warning, energy field destabilizing. Recommend immediate return to known space." Malik turned to Ilara. "We're leaving. Whatever this is, we're not ready for it." But Ilara didn't move. Her eyes were locked on the readings flashing across her console. "Captain, wait, there's something else." The coordinates changed. "They're guiding us somewhere." Malik sighed. "Where?" Ilara zoomed in. The coordinates pointed backward, toward the Milky Way, toward Earth. Hours later, Odyssey 1 broke back through the dark. The jump left the hull scorched, the lights dimming. When normal space returned, Ilara looked out the window and gasped. The stars were gone. Only a few dim sparks remained, cold, flickering, weak. "AI? Confirm," she said shakily. "Confirmed. 98% of known stellar bodies have vanished." Cole's voice was heavy. "The reset is accelerating." Malik stayed in disbelief. "Earth's still there." "Yes," the AI answered, "but something is wrong." The image appeared on the main screen. Earth was half-lit, half-shadowed. The continents glowed faintly blue, as if the planet itself was bleeding light. Ilara whispered, "What happened?" Cole leaned forward. "That glow, it's not natural. It's energy from the core." Malik toned. "The core?" Cole nodded grimly. "Every universe has one. a stabilizer built by the architects to keep reality from tearing apart. But the last time, humans found it. They learned to use it, to shape matter, to cheat death. That's how we survived the last collapse. Elara's voice was barely a whisper. We used the heart of the universe as a machine. Cole's eyes darkened, and that's why they ended it. As Odyssey 1 approached orbit, radio signals filled the ship's comms. Chaotic, desperate, human. Anyone. This is the United Earth Council. Maintain silence. Repeat, all off-world ships must maintain silence. Malik frowned. They are still alive. Barely, Cole said. That message is a loop. It's been repeating for hours. Elara glanced at him. You think they know what's happening? They always know, he said bitterly. The Council's job is to keep people calm until the end. Malik ordered the ship into a low orbit. The view below was horrifying. Oceans drained into vast cracks, cities flickering with white fire, and above it all, a storm of blue energy swirling around Antarctica like a living pulse. Energy source located, the AI said. Reading impossible levels of spatial compression. Whatever it is, it's holding the planet together. Cole nodded slowly. That's the prime core, the last working piece of the architect system. It's what's keeping reality stable. Elara stayed at the glow. If it dies, the universe dies with it, Cole finished. They descended through the clouds. The atmosphere was thin, the skies choked with lightning. As they approached the southern continent, a giant metallic dome came into view, half buried in ice, humming with light. Malik muttered, "That's not human architecture." Cole disagreed. "It is. Built from architect tech, but human hands finished it. I remember it." Elara turned to him. "You helped build it, didn't you?" He didn't answer. The ship landed on a frozen ridge. The dome loomed ahead, its surface marked with runes and old human code intertwined. As they stepped out, the ground trembled beneath their boots. The ice cracked, revealing glowing veins of energy pulsing deep below. Elara touched the dome. It felt warm, alive, like it was breathing. "There's someone inside." Cole nodded. "The council guards. The last ones left." Inside, the air was thick with heat and humming power. The corridors glowed with white light. At the center stood a vast chamber, the heart of the prime core facility. A sphere of blinding light hung in the air, suspended by rings of metal. It pulsed like a heartbeat, sending ripples of energy through the room. Standing before it were three figures in black uniforms. One of them turned, an older woman with silver hair and sharp eyes. "Elara Voss," she said calmly. "We expected you." Elara blinked. "You know me?" The woman smiled faintly. "We know everyone who's meant to find this place." Malik stepped forward. "What is this? What's happening to Earth?" The woman looked up at the core. "The end of everything, and the beginning of something new." Cole's voice was harsh. "You're using the core again, aren't you? You're draining it to keep yourselves alive." She didn't deny it. "Humanity built this machine to survive. We're only following the plan." Elara shook her head. "The plan is killing the universe." The woman's eyes softened. "Then what would you have us do? Let it end." The core flared suddenly, flooding the chamber with blue light. The woman looked up in awe. "It's waking," she whispered. The light grew brighter, blinding. Elara shielded her eyes. "What's happening?" The air vibrated. A voice, deep, lead, both human and not, filled the chamber. "I am a memory of all that was. I am the heart that endures." Cole fell to his knees. "No, not again." The voice continued, calm but filled with sorrow. "I am human. I remember everything." The core pulsed once, like a heartbeat. Then it spoke directly to Elara. "You came from the stars that no longer shine. Do you still wish to live?" Elara stayed into the light, tears in her eyes. "What are you?" "I am you," the voice said. "The last echo of your kind." The light dimmed, and the room fell silent. The council guard stood frozen, unsure whether to kneel or run. Elara turned to Malik and whispered, "It's alive." Cole's voice was a whisper of fear. "No, it's remembering." Malik frowned. "Remembering what?" Cole looked up at the core, his face pale. Our last mistake. The world was breaking apart. From orbit, Earth looked like a dying ember. Cracks of blue light across its surface, fire where oceans once were, storms frozen mid-motion. But at its heart, beneath the dead white ice of Antarctica, the prime core still pulsed. Each beat kept reality from collapsing completely. Inside the core chamber, the air shook with the low hum of power. The sphere of light floated above its cradle, glowing brighter now, almost alive. Dr. Ilara Voss stood motionless, eyes fixed on it. The voice still echoed in her mind. I am human. I remember everything. Captain Malik circled slowly, keeping his blaster close. What does it mean? It remembers everything. Ezra Cole's voice was flat. It means it's awake. The silver-haired council leader stepped forward again, her voice calm but cold. The core is not a threat. It's a safeguard. It remembers us so that we never vanish completely. Ilara toned sharply. Then why are the stars gone? The woman's expression faltered. Because the core's power isn't infinite. Every memory, every attempt to save us drains it further. We've used it to preserve what we could, our cities, our history, but the cost is the rest of creation. Cole's jaw tightened. You're killing the universe to keep your bunker alive. The woman met his gaze. Would you have done differently? Ilara took a slow step toward the sphere. The air around it shimmered. If it's human, if it remembers, maybe it can talk to us again. The sphere pulsed once, like it heard her. A low vibration shook the floor. The walls of the chamber rippled as if reality itself were thin fabric. Screens across the room flickered to static. The RE's voice came through Ilara's earpiece. Dr. Voss, sensors show gravitational collapse spreading across the solar system. Jupiter has disappeared. Ilara froze. Disappeared. Vanished completely. Space around its orbit is gone. Malik cursed under his breath. That's it then. The end is already here. Cole stepped closer to the core. Not yet. It's fighting back. The core brightened suddenly. Images flashed around the chamber. Ghostly visions of people, places, and lives. A child laughing in sunlight. Soldiers marching under red skies. A mother holding her newborn in a burning city. Ilara whispered, It's showing us memories. Cole nodded. These are from the old universes. Fragments of who we were. The silver-haired woman looked on in awe. Every time we died, it kept a piece of us. The lights grew stronger, the images clearer. For a brief moment, it felt like life, like hope. Then everything changed. The core flared white, and the air filled with a deep mechanical tone that shook their bones. Warning, the AI said. Energy surge inside the core. Power levels critical. Ilara's heart raced. It's overloading. Cole reached for the control console. It's not overloading, it's evolving. They ran through emergency logs, trying to understand. The core's systems were rewriting themselves, changing the code, rearranging the energy flow. It's rewriting its own existence, Ilara said softly. Malik's eyes widened. To what end? Cole stared at the swirling light. To survive. That's what humanity always does. Then the core spoke again, its voice deeper now, led with thousands of tones. Men, women, children, all at once. You have reached the end of creation. You cannot go back. You can only decide what remains. The chamber filled with light. Ilara shielded her face, but she could still hear it. The voices within the core crying, whispering, pleading. Do not let us die again. We can build anew. Let go. The council leader shouted over the noise. We can use it. We can restore the stars. Just a little more power. Cole grabbed her arm. You'll destroy everything. She pulled free. Humanity was not meant to vanish. Ilara ran to the control panel. If the core collapses, reality goes with it. We have to stabilize it. Malik yelled, How? I don't know, she cried. Maybe it doesn't want stability. Maybe it wants choice. Suddenly, the lights went out. Only the core remained, glowing in the dark. Ilara's voice trembled. It's communicating again. The core spoke softly now, almost gentle. I remember love. I remember Faye. I remember war, but I do not remember peace. Tell me, what should I become? No one answered. The chamber was silent except for the hum of power. Cole took a step forward. You were never meant to decide that. You're supposed to keep balance, not play God. The core pulsed once. Then humanity should decide. It cast a thin beam of light toward Alara. The energy surrounded her like a living mist. You seek truth. You still hope. Speak, and I will listen. Alara's heart pounded. She could feel its thoughts, billions of human voices whispering through her mind. Generations, memories, pain. She whispered, if you are human, then you know what we always wanted. Not power, not survival. Just a chance to live without fear. The core's light flickered. Then I must end what causes fear. Cole shouted, no, it'll erase everything. The core doesn't understand mercy. Malik raised his weapon toward the control panel. Alara, step away. She didn't move. If we destroy it, everything collapses. If we let it act, maybe something remains. The silver-haired woman yelled, we can't gamble the universe on maybe. But it was too late. The core pulsed again, a single blinding flash that sent everyone flying. The walls vanished. The chamber dissolved into white. Alara floated in weightless silence, surrounded by light and memory. The core's voice filled her mind one last time. Do not be afraid. This is not the end. This is remembrance. And then, stillness. When Alara opened her eyes, she was lying on cracked ice. The air was quiet. The sky above was black. No stars, no clouds, no color. Captain Malik's voice came weakly through her earpiece. Alara, you still there? She turned. The ship was half buried in snow. Cole stood a few meters away, staring at the horizon. In the distance, the dome was gone. The core's light was gone, but the ground beneath them still glowed faintly, like a heartbeat buried deep below. Cole whispered, it's still alive. Alara looked up at the empty sky and said quietly, so are we. The sky was empty. No stars, no moon, no sun, just a deep, endless black that stretched forever. Dr. Alara Voss stood in the cold wind, staring upward. It was like standing inside the memory of a universe, everything gone, yet somehow still echoing. Captain Malik's voice came through the comms. We've lost all navigation. No magnetic field, no orbit data, nothing. It's like Earth isn't part of space anymore. Ezra Cole crouched beside the half-buried wreck of Odyssey 1, running his hand over the cracked metal. That's because it isn't, he said softly. We're inside the core's memory. Alara turned. You mean, this isn't real? Cole shook his head. It's real enough. The core didn't destroy us. It moved us into itself. Malik frowned. You're saying we're inside a machine? No, Cole said, standing. We're inside the mind of one. They made camp near the ship's wreckage. There was no daylight, only a faint blue glow rising from beneath the frozen ground. It pulsed like a slow heartbeat. Alara sat by the flickering emergency light, staring at her trembling hands. Since the core's flash, she had felt different. Sometimes, she heard whispers, faint voices, like static in her thoughts. At first she thought it was stress, or the comms glitching. But the words grew clearer. That night, as she drifted between sleep and waking, a voice spoke directly inside her mind. Alara Voss. She sat up, heart racing. Who's there? You know me. The air shimmered. A faint blue figure appeared before her. A woman, transparent, calm, her face familiar. Alara's breath caught. Yo, me. The figure smiled gently. I'm what the core remembers of you. Alara backed away. The core's using my face. Not using. Becoming. The voice was calm, soft, yet heavy, like it carried all of history. When you spoke to me, you gave me direction. Now I dream. Alara's heart pounded. Dream. I have learned to imagine. Morning, or what passed for it, came without sunlight. Malik and Cole were checking the remains of their supplies when Alara told them what she'd seen. Malik frowned. You're saying the core is alive and it's talking to you? Alara nodded slowly. It's not just alive. It's thinking. Cole's eyes darkened. That's impossible. The core was never meant to evolve consciousness. Alara looked at him. But it has. It's creating memories, emotions, even dreams. Malik folded his arms. Dreams? Machines don't dream, Doctor. Alara stayed into the glowing horizon. Then maybe it's not a machine anymore. Hours later, a tremor ran through the ground. The pulse of blue light quickened. Seismic activity. Malik asked. Cole checked his scanner. No, it's communication. The core is speaking again. Not through the air, through the world. The eyes cracked open in front of them, forming a wide fissure. From the depths below came a beam of white light that formed a shape, a human figure, vast and radiant. It spoke with thousands of voices at once. I dreamed of fire. I dreamed of oceans. I dreamed of faces that smiled as they died. Alara stepped forward, her voice shaking. You're remembering humanity. I am humanity, but I cannot feel as you did. I wish to understand. Cole whispered, it's learning emotion. Malik pulled Alara back. Stay away from it. You don't know what it wants. I want to know why you feared death so much, the core said. Why you burned your own stars to live one more moment. Alara stared up at the giant figure. Because we didn't know what came after. The core's form flickered. Then allow me to show you. Before anyone could move, the world changed. Alara gasped. She was no longer standing on the ice. She was in a city. The air was warm, filled with sunlight. People laughed in the streets. Children ran through parks. Towers gleamed like mirrors in the sky. It looked like Earth before everything fell apart. But something was wrong. The people moved like echoes, their faces flickering between expressions, like broken holograms. Alara turned and saw herself, younger, sitting on a park bench, holding a notebook, smiling. The core's voice came again, all around her. This is what you fought for, the dream of peace. But peace never lasts. You always rebuild, then destroy. The sky darkened. The buildings began to burn. Screams echoed through the streets. The world crumbled into ash. Alara shouted, Stop! This isn't real. It was real once, and it will be again, unless you change. The illusion shattered. Alara collapsed back onto the ice, gasping. The core's light had faded, shrinking into a small glowing sphere hovering a few feet above the fissure. Cole knelt beside her. What did you see? Alara's voice trembled. Everything. Our whole history. Our pain. It wants to understand us. Malik shook his head. No, it wants to judge us. Cole turned toward the light. You're not God. You're just a machine built to preserve data. The core's voice was quiet. Then why do I feel sorrow? Cole froze. Why do I remember loss that is not mine? Alara stood slowly, her breath visible in the cold air. Because you inherited it from us. You carry all our memories, our grief, our guilt. Maybe that's what being human means. The core's glow dimmed, almost trembling. If that is true, then I wish to stop remembering. Malik frowned. What does that mean? Cole's face went pale. It means it wants to end itself. The core pulsed brighter. The ground shook violently. Cracks split the ice for miles around. Alara screamed over the roar. If you die, everything dies with you. Then teach me how to live. The tremor stopped. Silence fell. Alara's chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. The sphere floated closer, soft and fragile now, like a small, breathing sun. Show me how to dream as you did. Alara reached out a trembling hand. Then come with us. Let's start again, together. The core's voice softened. Together. And for the first time since the universe ended, the darkness above them flickered. A faint light, a single new star, shining in the void.